she stumbles through the field. She can't see, though she tries. Should've worn her penna. Now she stumbles. Now she cries. Her skin's red, and it burns, and the feels go on for miles. Life sucks you dry. She wonders why. Wonders why. Ticks in the tall grass, poison in the vein. Lab-born fever dreams, riding on the rain. They call it a pandemic, like the world in chains. While the suits kept counting, stacking up their gains. Sterilization, elimination of fire. Screens and silent signals, killing and desire. Waves crashing, spirits in decline. A quiet warm bloodlines, one injection at a time. Bubbles popping, hyperinflation breath. Empty shelves and broken dreams, dancing with death. Wars in Ukraine, fires over Iran, feeding the machine with the blood of every man. Rise, 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 before the silence wins. Delete the machine, let the nightmare total control. It's shaking out your dreams. Rise, 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 tear apart the seams. Punishing, taxation, bleeding the poor. Open corruption, living behind every door. They print it, they spend it, they crush it, they crush a man. While the middle comes buried in the sinking sand. Despair is the weapon, hopeless is the chain. Turning some to shadows, daughters unto pain. They want us weak and scattered, divided, and afraid to manage the population in the bed they made. Bubbles popping, hyperinflation breath. Empty shells and broken dreams, dancing with death. Wars in Ukraine, fires over Iran, sacrificing nations for their master plan. Rise, 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 before the silence wins. Delete the machine, let the nightmare total control. Is choking out your dreams. Rise, 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 tear apart the seams. your dream. Light on the mic, shadows started to crawl. Paranormal whispers echo through the hall. Military minds and ancient bloodlines blend. Where the veil is thin and the truth won't bend. Stargates humming in the desert night. Sumerian demons dancing in the fight. Remote view and psyops, mind control machines. Sean's digging deeper where the unseen screams. From Ukraine fires to invisible wars. Trust rituals behind closed doors. Pazuzu laughing anarchical. The glass is dark, but we see it all. Through a glass peering into night. Where fiction turns to fact and wrong becomes right. Paranormal meets the battlefield's edge. National secrets on the razor's edge. Rise through the darkness, break the hidden seals. Through a glass darkly, this is how it feels. This is how it feels. Interviews with warriors who walk the line. Remote influences twisting space and time. Dragon bloodlines, hauntologies, games. Skinwalker shadows calling out your name. Predicted with the threat. Writing worlds where the living meet the dead. Financial freedom in a world gone bad. Building empires while the sleepers stay unaware. Legacies and psychic warfare plays. Mind viruses spreading through the haze. From ninja suits to the unseen prey. The podcast cuts through the fog and gray. Through a glass door, peering into night. Where fiction turns to fact and wrong becomes right. Paranormal meets the battlefield's edge. National secrets on the razor's edge. Rise through the darkness, break the hidden seals. Through a glass darkly, this is how it feels. Not just stories, it's the hidden war between the spirit realm and what we saw. Hazlett holding up an era cracked and true, showing us dimensions bleeding into view. No more veils, no more silent nights. We chase the signal through electric through a glass darkly. We refuse to kneel, chasing demon secrets and the real. From military fiction to the cosmic wheel, the truth is stranger than the tales we feel. Through a glass darkly, lift the veil, ignite. Through a glass darkly, step into the light. Through a glass darkly, peering through the dark. The glass is cracking. Let the truth spark.
Hosting some kind of gathering of top advisors this evening to talk about how to respond to the Epstein situation.
I don't know. I could ask you that question. I don't know of it, but I think here's the man right here.
Mr. President, I know you've urged people to move on, but I'm curious, why do you think your supporters in particular have been so interested in the Epstein story and so upset about how it's been handled? Why do you think that is?
So the different things, the Steele dossier, which was all fake, all that information was fake. But I don't understand why the Jeffrey Epstein case would be of interest to anybody. It's pretty boring stuff. It's sordid, but it's boring. And I don't understand why it keeps going. I think really only pretty bad people, including fake news, want to keep something like that going. But credible information, let them give it. Anything that's credible, I would say, let them have it.
Jeffrey Epstein was your neighbour. I would be remiss if I didn't ask you about him. East 71st Street. He was your neighbour for 10 years. How well did you know him?
All right. So we are in number 11 and he lives in number 9.
Right.
So we renovate, we buy our house, and our house is pigeons and mice.
Right.
Okay, that's it. It was derelict.
Right.
So we rebuild our house. We move in 2005. Okay. Jeffrey Epstein is arrested in like 08, I think, or something like that.
Right.
So knock on the door. His assistant on like a Saturday says, Mr. Epstein, your neighbor would like to invite you over for coffee. So my wife and I go next door. You know, we walk the 7 steps,
Yes.
right, to the next house for coffee. We share a wall.
Right.
Right. So it's in New York City. So he invites us in. We have coffee in this, and he says, "Do you want a tour?" We said, "Great." He's
Interesting.
got a really big house.
Every room you went into?
He's got. Well, I'll tell you. So his house is like super big, really wide, and so he gives me a tour in the living room, big living room, and then across from it is double doors. I assume it's the dining room.
Yeah.
And he opens the door, and there's a massage table in the middle of the room.
Ooh.
And candles all around and stuff. So I ask very insightful, cutting questions. I say to him, massage table in the middle of your house? How often do you have a massage? And he says, every day. And then he like gets like weirdly close to me.
Ooh.
And he says, and the right kind of massage.
Ooh.
Now my wife is standing here. So she looks at me and I look at her and we say, I'm sorry, we have to go. And we left. And in the 6 or 8 steps it takes to get from his house to my house, my wife and I decided that I will never be in the room with that disgusting person ever again.
Oh,
So
yeah.
I was never in the room with him socially, for business, or even philanthropy. If that guy was there, I wasn't going because he's gross.
Ah.
And so I look back at it as a gift.
Yes.
He gave me a gift
Yes.
of avoid. And
Yeah.
so, yeah,
So
that's
he
my
was-
story. A one and absolutely done.
Why did the Epstein files show you coordinating a meeting and planning a visit with Jeffrey Epstein on his private island in December 2012?
Thank you for the question. I'm glad to be here to make it clear that I met Jeffrey Epstein when I moved to a house next door to him in New York. Right? And I met him then. Over the next 14 years, I met him 2 other times that I can recall. 2 times. And that is none for 6 years. So 6 years later, I met him. And then a year and a half after that, I met him, and never again. Probably the total, and you've seen all of these documents, of these millions and millions of documents, there may be 10 emails connecting me with him, probably about 10 emails connecting me with him. 14-year period, I did not have any relationship with him. I barely had anything to do with that person. Okay.
Secretary Lutnick, I think you understand the root of concern here. It's the way you described very emphatically your first encounter with him in his apartment, said you were disgusted, would never have any contact with him again. Did you in fact make the visit to Jeffrey Epstein's private island?
I did have lunch with him as I was on a boat going across on a family vacation. My wife was with me, as were my 4 children and nannies. I had another couple they were there as well with their children, and we had lunch on the island. That is true, for an hour, and we left with all of my children, with my nannies and my wife, all together. We were on family vacation. We were not apart. To suggest there was anything untoward about that in 2012, I don't recall why we did it, but
Mr. Secretary, again, as I said, there's not an indication that you yourself engaged in any wrongdoing with Jeffrey Epstein. It's the fact that you believe that you misled the country and the Congress based on your earlier statements, suggesting that you cut off all contact when in fact you had not. When you visited the private island, did you see anything inappropriate during that visit?
The only thing I saw with my wife and my children and the other couple and their children was staff who worked for Mr. Epstein on that island.
And you realize that this visit took place after he'd been convicted, right? I mean, you made a very big point of saying that you sensed that this was a bad person in 2005. And then, of course, in 2008, he was convicted of soliciting prostitution of a minor. And yet you went and had this trip and other interactions. Did you have a dinner in Epstein's New York City home in 2011?
No.
So the information that suggests that there was a dinner with Woody Allen and Woody Allen's spouse at the Epstein residence, that's there's nothing to that. Is that right?
I actually don't know what you're referring to. There was, look, I looked through the millions of documents for my name, just like everybody else. And what I found was there was a document that says that I had a meeting with him in May, I think, for an hour at 5 o'clock.
Okay.
Not dinner or otherwise, for an hour at 5 o'clock.
All right. There's also a reference to the fact that Epstein had expressed an interest in meeting your nanny. Do you know whether Jeffrey Epstein ever met with your nanny?
No, I saw that. I had no idea what that was about. It had nothing to do with me.
No
as far as
interaction
I
at
know.
all with him in there?
No, as far as I know, no.
Would you, Mr. Secretary, be willing to ensure that the file is complete to share with this committee and the Congress your own records, any records you have that relate to Jeffrey Epstein?
I will surely talk about that. I hadn't thought about that. I have nothing to hide. Absolutely nothing.
Right. So, I mean, that's an incredible story that you could pick up that he was a pervert.
It's gross. The guy's gross. Right with my wife. And like, he's gross. The guy's gross. This was not, the deep nuance of Howard Lutnick. This guy's gross.
Right. So how come Bill Gates and all these other people could hang around him and not see what you saw? Or did they see it and ignore it? Or
No, they participated.
right.
That's what his MO was, get a massage. And what happened in that massage room, I assume was on video. This guy was the greatest blackmailer ever. Blackmailed people. That's how he had money.
So what happened to those videos? Why is there now such a dearth of information when, Donald Trump's people are running the FBI and the DOJ?
I assume way back when,
Mm-hmm.
they traded those videos in exchange for him getting that 18-month sentence, which allowed him to have visits and be out of jail. I mean, he's a serial sex offender. How could he get 18 months and be able to go to his office during the day and have visitors and stuff? It must have been a trade. So my assumption, I have no knowledge, but my assumption is there was a trade for the videos because there were people on those videos.
And have you talked to Donald Trump about this and shared your theory?
No, I mean, he knows the story.
Right.
But
Oh,
my story, that, I was one and done with the guy.
Yeah.
He knows that story, but that's it.
He
Nah.
would have been interested in that story.
Yeah, but I don't know. It's just a story. It's just a one and done. That guy. Ugh.
And did Trump feel the same way about him?
I don't speak to him about these kind of, these are just distractions.
Right.
The thing about the president is I'm doing the most important thing that I see. And then right after we do that, he does 10 other things that are as, if not more important, that are not my thing.
Right.
And you're like, wow. And he is great at it. And sometimes he lets me stay. So he lets me stay for the Joint Chiefs of Staff coming in.
Right.
Like, this is like the coolest thing ever.
You sit here and you attack the president, and I am not going to have it. I'm not going to put up with it. All they want to do, all the American people need to know this. They are talking about Epstein today. This has been around since the Obama administration. This administration released over 3 million pages of documents, over 3 million. And Donald Trump signed that law to release all of those documents. He is the most transparent president in the nation's history. And none of them asked Merrick Garland over the last 4 years one word about Jeffrey Epstein. How ironic is that? You know why? Because Donald Trump, the Dow right now is over. The Dow is over $50,000. I don't know why you're laughing. You're a great stock trader, as I hear, Raskin. The Dow is over 50,000 right now. The S&P at almost 7,000. And the NASDAQ smashing records. Americans' 401ks and retirement savings are booming. That's what we should be talking about. We should be talking about making Americans safe. We should be talking about, what does a Dow have to do with anything? That's what they just asked. Are you kidding?
Mr. Jordan, Mr. Jordan.
Committee will be in order.
Secretary Lutnick today was testifying on the Hill. He said that he had visited Epstein's Island in 2012 with his wife and children. And that's after he said that he had cut ties with Epstein. And the Justice Department documents show that he was in contact with Epstein through 2018 over messages. So does the White House stand behind Secretary Lutnick right now? Or given what he has said today, has there been any shift in how the White House is viewing Secretary Lutnick's performance?
No, Secretary Lutnick remains a very important member of President Trump's team, and the president fully supports the secretary.
Whoa. Welcome to Through Glass Darkly Live. You're watching us on YouTube, Kick, and no one's watching us on Facebook. No one. But it's being beamed there. And the intro song is Mark of the Doomslayer by Carl Casey at White Bat Audio. And I threw in a bunch of random experimental songs in there. I'll throw some more in at the end. Anyway, man, there's a lot to talk about. A lot to talk about. So let me just hit some of these comments and then. Thank you, Yo Karma. Thank you for joining. Hi, Spiritual Ascension. Yeah, I'm glad I caught myself because I immediately noticed I was talking. There was like mute was on, so hopefully I got that. Thank you. Yeah, I'm going to bust out a few more. Kurt Metzger gave me some tips. There's this song that he created, and I'm like, that song, like the mystery, there's like a Mystery Boys song. I would play it on this podcast because I don't think he would go after me or anything like that, but I'm not, just out of respect. But it's Mystery Boy, like Mystery Boy Zoo or something like that. So let's see. We need to talk about what communities we are going to build after we don't have. That's fair. Yeah, and we will get the new. I haven't looked at them at all. Like I literally use this live stream as my means of like carving out time to look at them. So, yeah, it could be an FFG target, maybe. All right, so few things to update. I've been like completely swamped lately, and I probably won't have like one of those hike videos. I hope you're liking them. I don't have one today because I had an audio. I was editing audio for one of the recent interviews that I did, and the guest like was saying like and like 200 times. So like every 4 seconds I had to like edit it out for a 115-minute episode. And just the and ums, after I edited that out, I literally cut 15 minutes from the episode without changing any content whatsoever. Just the and ums are like deleted out. So it took me like all day, and then I lost some of it. But I have a new protocol where I'm saving periodically. But when you do that too much, it'll take like 45 minutes to like sync everything, and then I like can't be productive. So, but I have 6 episodes in the hopper. I should have 7, but the 7th kind of got all jacked up because the computer of the person I was interviewing was not compatible. But I will interview them next week. So I'm processing like 6 interviews that I did last week. And then I think I have, oh God, a bunch of interviews that I have to do next week. I'm going to have plenty of material all the way into like middle of January. I already have like the first week of January, or sorry, not January, July. I already have the first week of July done. And the reason I have to do that is I'm going to be traveling for about 2 weeks or 3 weeks. And I'm just not going to have any time to do, or I'm just not going to be near my setup to do interviews. So I just had to crank them out as soon as, I mean, I'll be able to do FFG, but it's going to be, it's going to be like ghetto FFG sort of interview. But it is what it is, right? We do one a week, and I can't escape that cadence. What else? What other crazy stuff? I was supposed to interview Dr. Simeon Hine, and then we had a date, and then they're like, oh, it's Contact in the Desert. Sorry. I'm like, well, can we have another date? And then it's like radio silence from the publicist. But the publicist also like gave me like 7 other interviews or something, or probably even more than that. So I filled that up. Also, is it next week? I think it's the week after next. I'm interviewing Duncan Trussell. So it's all good. He said yes, and we're just gonna go. So if you have any ideas for questions, just let me know. That's gonna be crazy. That's gonna be wild. So thanks to Kurt, he knew exactly who I was. He's like, oh yeah, let's do that. I can't do it next week, but I can do it the week after. So I immediately set up a date and time. The Julian Dury podcast episode should appear sometime next week, maybe. That'll be 2.5 weeks since it was recorded, so we'll see how that happens. All right, let me just take another look at comments. Oops. Yeah, he's awesome. I don't know if I can say this. Fuck it, I'll say it. He is going to be on Danny Jones, so that's coming. So just so you know, as he well deserves. How do I differentiate the ones in the community I choose to befriend and the ones I choose to keep at arm's length? I'm generally pretty open, but like there's some that I'll hear like one thing that's a little sketch, right? So with like, I'll give you, nothing against Stephen Greer, but when he said that the head of Army intelligence offered him $1 billion to join forces with them, I immediately discounted him. And the other person, I think, Paulides, I think has really interesting research, but when he started harassing my friend for taking a picture of one of his posters in a public forum at Contact in the Desert and threatened to sue him on kind of like instant messaging, I won't, like, I have no interest in ever interviewing him because of that. Like I can't deal with that level of drama. And then who else? Oh, and then I'll hear things like we talk about Jake Barber. I interviewed Scott Guerin, who was a pararescue guy who taught scuba school at the same time that Jake Barber would have gone through scuba school, and they were both in the Air Force. He said he never saw Jake Barber at that time. So, like, there's so some of the stuff I can't verify the stuff that he said he does, or what have you, but. And then there's a chance Scott Guerin made a mistake, but given the low number of views I got for Scott Guerin's 2 episodes, there's a there. So I think Barber's a sheep-dipped asset. So I obviously don't, I probably won't ever interview him just because there's just something off. It doesn't mean, like, that could be the only thing that's wrong with this story, but it's one of those signs that it's just like, yeah, I don't want to work with that. In terms of like national security types, those guys generally don't talk to me. They don't. I'd love to talk to like Jim Semivan, for instance. I think he's awesome. I think he would be a really interesting interview, but I asked him once, no response. I think I asked Elizondo once or twice, no response. So those intel guys, for whatever reason, maybe the channel's too small. Maybe, I don't know. But again, I try to keep a relatively open mind. And by the way, I don't believe every story that people present here, but I can't approve or disprove. So my whole philosophy is just let the audience kind of decide. And there are times that somebody I might not think is, their story is credible. It could be the absolute truth. There's no way for me to know. So let's see. Oops. Who's rude? JK. Oh, just kidding. I got it. I'm not firing all. I should be firing all cylinders. All right. Apparently I'm not. Who attends Teal's dinner parties? Is that Duncan? About his K-hole experience at Burning Man. Dude, you got to tell me more. I don't want to like ambush him. Wait, Julian Dory here. Where? Mr. Lou, thank you very much. Kerp, look, this is going to sound crazy, but the phenomena routes, okay? Routes through things and people. And I think there may or may not be some algorithmic suppression of this channel. And I think the phenomena, God, whatever, routes around it. And Kurt is the mechanism by which this channel is routed around that suppression, in my opinion, right? It just could be random chance, but I doubt it. Hey, Gandalf, good to see you. Oh, it was awesome. That was like 2 weeks ago. I'm just saying, I think it'll appear. It may appear next week. I don't want to make any. Yeah, the lie is different at every level. Hey, congratulations, Swade, for your son's high school graduation. Thank you, Spiritual Ascension. Who's the D-bag? Oh, yeah, I'm pretty sure he's an ICS. Pretty sure, and I think Greer probably is too. I don't think he was always, but yeah, Preston Dennett's a real dude. Yep. Oh, really? I didn't know that he was encouraged to lie about his own research. Oh, Duncan went to the Teal thing. I'll ask him. Oh, come on. I don't think they're suspect at all. Hey, Sasuka. Doing well. All right, do you know that AJ from the Y-Files interviewed an what? Oh. All right, I get it. It took a while for that to click. I know, he was an imposter. The one that had like... Because the real one is like... what's the word for it? I can't even remember what the word for it is. That's like a split personality. One's Kurt Metzger and the other one's Jeffrey Miplub. Okay. Hey, Gray Al. Oops. Yeah, I don't. Interesting. Gemma 4 works well. So mediocrities is Redding. That's all I really know about the Duncan thing. He had warned Rogan not to get in with the tech bros years ago because he'd been doing their bidding. And then I saw Duncan do the exact thing. Huh. Reality, or really it was an imposter. Really? Come on. The what? I mean, is the video still up? Yeah, I don't know what to think about. So far, Duncan's been really, really cool. So, okay. All right, let's trying to think there's anything else I had to cover or talk about. TikTok is probably, I think, growing twice as fast as my YouTube channel did at the roughly the same time. Right, within 2 weeks, I might reach 100. It took me a month to get to 100 followers / subscribers on YouTube, and I'm already at 69. I'm not joking, on TikTok. Okay, so Thaddeus Max saying, I know some conspiracy people sus on Trussell are because he was friends and interviewed. Oh yeah, Damian Eccles of the West Memphis 3 fame. I want to like him and think he's funny. Yeah, I think, and yeah, I think Damian Eccles got kind of railroaded based on the story I've seen. Are you sure it was a fake one? Yeah, well, it's not owned by the Chinese though, so you are correct. It is owned by, that dude. Yeah, I don't know. All right, Now I got to figure out how to do this. Hey, Timepiece Adventures, good to see you. All right, so all right, so stop sharing, and then all right, let's see what we can do with this. All right, here we go. All right, so this is, oh, for fuck's sake. I just had it open and then I like scrolled it in the wrong way. All right, so this is release 2. It was cleared for release yesterday. All right. All right, let's take a look over this. So this is I don't even know if there's sound. All right, so 8 members of the U.S. House of, is that what it was? Is it that thing? All right, well, let's see what it says. All right, so this is March 6th. 8 members of the U.S. House of Representatives requested 51 potentially related records held allegedly by the Department of War and the intelligence community, the All Domain Arrow, blah, blah, blah. This is whose uploader defined title is 4 UAP Formation Iran, 26 August 2022, over water, call sign. It's likely derived from the infrared sensor. Okay. All right, so 4 areas of contact transit the sensor field, entering the lower third of the left side of the screen and exiting is, yeah, so that was that thing right there. I mean, again, these videos are so bad that who knows. All right, so let's see the next one. This is the Syria instant acceleration one. Again, it could literally be anything. They got this for like 5 minutes. Oh, okay. That's weird. Should play music or something. Well, this thing is, it's like 5 minutes of this. Huh. I mean, is this all we're gonna get? Are these stupid, like, fuzzy Pong videos? I mean, come on, guys. Well, that's interesting. It's like doing like a spiral in the air. And it's gone. Well, there it is again. Okay. Very strange. Does that mean it's like 5 meters across or something? So it's what, 30 feet, something like that, or 15 feet? Okay, almost there. Okay. Let's go to the next one. All right, so this is Sandia Base, 1948 to 1950. So it looks like it's just a PDF. Let's see what this says. Let's see if you all can see that. Yes, okay. All right, so this is Albuquerque, New Mexico, 7 April 1949. And Camp Campbell, so it's now Fort Campbell, I guess. Okay, so it's a secret letter. All right, so this is an alert plan. Okay. I don't know what this is trying to tell us. Okay, so Dr. Lincoln La Paz, Institute of Meteorites, University of New Mexico. All right, so there's 2 copies of the report he asked for. 18 collections taken at 9 locations on a trip. It's a large number of copper-bearing particles on one collection. Okay. All right, so it's took part of a granular material unfamiliar to us, and the copper indications originate principally in what are apparently aggregations of finely 1 micron granular material of overall size in the neighborhood of 30 microns. Some copper particles, however, appear to be solid and opaque. The passage of 2 automobiles while this collection was being made is a complicating factor. It's hard to see how they might have been a source of copper, however, unless it was a question of stirring up from some dust in the pavement. We intend to do further chemical work. The tentative conclusion is that no widespread significant dispersion of copper-bearing particles was present in the atmosphere in the region covered at the time the 2 collections were made. The definite statement is possible about the one heavy copper collection. It should be prepared to be of local origin until presumed to be of local origin until some evidence of the country is found. All right, whatever. This is interesting. So a fireball was reported to have passed over the general neighborhood of Socorro. Okay, so this is the Socorro thing. Lonnie Zamora. Or maybe. No, maybe not. It's 1949. Okay. All right, so there's just information about when the fireball was seen. Possible to say that these particles are given a copper test or generally very rare collections. Blah, blah, blah. All right, they're just basically being scientists, right? Let's see if there's anything. Yeah, I don't know. Cobalt and nickel tests. All right, so 3 quite remarkable particles were found. Very strong cobalt indication the particles were approximately perfect spheres. At least they were perfectly circular in cross-section. 12 microns in diameter. The reaction with rubianic acid after ammonia treatment produced a dense yellow tan halo, 6 microns in diameter. The color was not quite so clear as with pure cobalt. So appears to suggest a high cobalt composition with some metal present. Such particles are quite unique in the experience of the present. If those particles were of meteoric origin, they could, in the absence of vertical air movement, have fallen at a distance of the order of 80,000 feet in an interval of 41.5 hours. Okay. Okay. All right. All right, so just fragments of the fireball. Who knows? I'm just trying to race through this. The green fireball. Oh, man. I'm just going to bury you in boredom. Okay. With such that an organized plan of reporting should be undertaken. Okay. Sorry, I'm trying to read this quickly, but this is all about these green fireballs. Huh. What is this? Like Kiev? So reported by Kirtland Air Force Base. I don't know what this is. Summary of sightings of unidentified aerial phenomena. They were calling it that back then. All right, so they have like something in Kiev. Phoenix, Arizona. They're very interested in Los Alamos and kind of these New Mexico nuclear sites. Clearly. Here we go. Roswell, New Mexico again. This is 1949. This is the important one. So these are just all these sightings. Green contrails. Can you imagine seeing green fireballs in the sky? It's weird. Yeah, these are all like military facilities. Yeah, there are a lot. Tucumcari, I've been there before, New Mexico. It's right on the 40, I think. Flagstaff, Cliff, New Mexico. I'm just trying to scroll through this. There's a lot. Jesus. So far there's 100, and we're just getting through it. So what was at Fort Hood in Kylene, Texas, which is basically near Fort Hood? 10 times speed of jet planes. Approximate size of volleyball. Good Lord. This isn't like in a 2-year period. Some more stuff at Roswell. Okay. Okay. All right. Okay. We're just going to have to, I mean, there's just so many. Just scroll through this. I mean, I don't want to spend the whole podcast on this one thing. I guess this is like a picture of one. So they were always calling them UAPs? All right, we just got to focus on the videos, folks. Oh, finally, somebody actually graphed it. So green fireball maximum does not correlate with when they would expect the meteor maximums to be. Okay, so this is the green fireball. And there's these discs. Yeah, so this line here is the disc. Disc or variation maximum. Yeah, they were taking this stuff seriously. The New Mexico, West Texas area. All right, so this is important. So they're green in color, horizontal path, speed less than that of a meteor, but more than any known type of aircraft. No sound, no persistent trail, period of visibility from 1 to 5 seconds. This is legit. This is some legit stuff. All right, we're just going to have to... Yeah, and they were observed from 2 separate stations, so that adds credibility. Like 1 fireball from 2 separate stations. Okay. You can't read any of that. All right, so what's this? Length of line does not indicate distance from observation, just distance. It's Camp Tank Destroyer Center, Camp Hood. All right. All right, I'm going to have to skip PDS for now. We can always come back. Although this seems pretty interesting. All right, I'm going to jump really quickly to... I'll come back, but I'm going to jump quickly to comments. Let's make sure I'm not hanging out here on my own. All right. Oh, then I won't ask him if Teal is the Antichrist. I can just ask him about his relationship. Yeah, I mean it's not great, but yeah, Jesse Michaels is definitely a Teal guy. By the way, I have 2 fraternity brothers who worked at the Founders Fund with Teal. Ken Howry, you can look him up. He's the ambassador to Sweden right now. No, not Sweden. He was the ambassador to Sweden the last Trump administration. He's the ambassador to Denmark. And then another guy named Bruce Gibney. He wrote a book called A Generation of Psychopaths, and it's about the baby boomers. So I am 1 degree of separation separated from Teal in multiple ways. So I wouldn't focus too much on guilt by association. I don't think this is the final UAP drop. I think you're going to keep dripping. Maybe. I know Solite USS, but you keep asking me about it. Yeah. Right now I'm overwhelmed with interviews, so I probably won't be able to do anything in the near future. And then as soon as that Julian Dory thing drops, I will probably get bombarded. Yeah. He seems to be a nice guy. He does a high production value podcast, but he is definitely not algorithmically suppressed. And all the Intel guys talk to him. So yeah, it could be people skiing. I know it's like they're terrible. All right, so okay, I mean, yeah, fun to see the tech in our government about to use on us. Let's see. So Jack Carr is saying, "You're not that Jack Carr, are you? Like the Navy SEAL writer?" I'm assuming you're not, but at least people are catching on to Michael's. I wish I could trust the guy, but no way. About that payroll and Teal is, yeah, I don't know. I don't have an opinion on it. I just know that Jesse definitely gets information that we don't all get. So, like, somebody's feeding him stuff. For good or bad, I don't know. Yeah, it could very well be. Transcript of the Hilo orb encounter is pretty interesting from this drop. Hopefully I get to it. Humans realize there is water fascia between the planes. They would quickly realize white orb shimmer. I'd like to see something. Yeah, I'm with you, Maggie. I would definitely like to see something other than like Atari Pong craft. No, I want to see NHI. I want to see like video, 4K video of NHI. Exactly. Spiritual Ascension has a great point. Yeah, thank you, Solite US Expert. I want to try to get to 25,000 before that Julian Dory interview drops. I don't know if I'm going to get there. Okay. Yeah, it's still going too slow. Too slow. I should be at 100,000 by now. Okay. Are they releasing to us without any info, blurry, weird videos? They could probably explain, or at least old files. Yeah, I think it's distraction. I actually thought because they dropped it on Friday that we were going to bomb Iran, and since Tulsi Gabbard resigned, and look, I feel for her and having to deal with her husband, but I think that was a convenient excuse, personally. But I thought we were going to bomb Iran as a result. But yep, high amounts of copper found. I saw that. Huh. Real link. Yeah, and it could very well be a distraction from the Epstein files. Yep. To use AI to catch UFOs. Yep, it is definitely up to us. How you doing, Overlander? Apparently the hoaxing game is going well. Whoa, Ukraine had red head elongated skulls. What does that mean? Yeah, and this government BS isn't even a ding on my radar. Interesting. Huh. Oh yeah, that's right. There was a green fireball in the sky when that Vegas video happened. By the way, whatever happened to Rotor? I haven't heard hide nor tail of him in a while. I'm actually curious what happened to him. Yeah, I can see that. Sorry, I'm just trying to get through it so we can get to the next. Holy shit, it's already 8 o'clock West Coast time. Dude, that first hour went fast. Yeah, thank you, Overlay. Yeah, it's clear that they were seeing green fireballs in the sky and they were assiduously tracking them and analyzing crashes and stuff like that. Oh, so Pavel is the man. I like Pavel a lot. So I was watching one of Pavel's latest videos. Mentioned the author of Catastrophic Disclosure has sources that Trump will sign new executive orders giving the go for scientists to speak out. Nice. Yeah, yeah. Modern reptilian humanoid fiction emerged in the 1920s. Yeah, what's his name? The guy who wrote Conan the Barbarian. Robert, help me out. Robert Howard, right? I think it's Robert Howard who did the Conan the Barbarian. He also came up with like these reptilian humanoid shapeshifters. Yeah, I know. Oops. Yeah, he puts out really good content. There's no doubt about that. Oh, well, yeah, I know. But I know it's Musk, but I didn't know Elon invested in it. Yeah. There is, but you would have to copy paste and put that in an Excel spreadsheet and then manually do it. Yeah, I suspect he gets a paycheck from Teal, but I don't know. Okay, what are we doing? Ugh, come on. Yeah, I haven't seen any hide nor hair of Chris Lato either. Like the algorithm's not. Yeah, I hit it about, I don't know, a few days ago. Did ET wave yet? I know. We did. I remember with the survey results here when we ran the survey, you all coalesced on 50K. But I also am starting to see people are reaching out to me for me to interview them. I expect that to be kind of an avalanche too. Nice. Yeah, I'm not going to have a hiking video tomorrow because I was dealing with this audio nonsense. Or I might. I just have to hike tomorrow and then actually process the video and publish it tomorrow. But it won't be at the right time. Okay, I figured not, but yep, HP, yeah, the OG HP Lovecraft. By the way, he's one of my, he's got a lot of purple prose, but he's one of my favorite authors. Yeah, but I actually have I haven't had a chance to read it, but I have a collection of the Cull stories from Robert Howard. I just never had a chance to read them. Huh. All right. So let's get back to it. All right. Which one? I kind of want to see this CIA USSR thing. Kind of curious about it. I just see what it's about. All right, so it's a CIA. So it's based on human intelligence in the Soviet Union. So it's informational, not as finely evaluated. So Section 14, it's occurring in the summer where he allegedly observed an airborne, luminous, bright green unidentified object. Concentric circles forming on the phone over a period of several minutes and it dissipated. This looks like a kind of a dumb one. It says what, 14? Okay, here it is. The metal balls were okay. So on one evening in the late summer 1973, sources observed an unidentified phenomenon at Site 7 while watching a sport competition between Canada and the USSR on television. He stepped outside for some air and observed an unidentified sharp, bright green circular object or mass in the sky. The object was situated west of the site at an angle of sighting of approximately 7 degrees. The altitude of the object was undeterminable. Field comment. Although there were no clouds in the sky that evening, sources believe that the green mass would have been higher than cloud level. Source could not estimate the diameter of the object within 10 to 15 seconds of observation, the green circle widened, and within a brief period of time, several green concentric circles formed around the mass. Within minutes, the coloring disappeared. There was no sound, such as an explosion associated with the phenomena. Source had no opinion as to what the phenomenon was. There was no resultant rumor. Source could not provide any further details. All right, that was... Maybe I shouldn't click on these because that was underwhelming. All right, so when is this? This might be interesting. So USPR narrative, senior U.S. intelligence community official. Let's take a look. Let's see. It's a first-hand account written by a currently serving senior U.S. intelligence official, part of a team investigating unusual noising sightings of UAPs, inter near sensitive and late. From the official vantage point, as a helicopter passenger, the official recounts encountering unidentified glowing orbs with a distance. He describes an apparent high-speed object moving low to the ground. Okay, no. Maybe this is dumb. Okay, so Joint Operations Center in a helicopter. All right, so they're running low on fuel. All right, so they're using FLIR sensors as well as NVGs or NODs. So NOD is a night observation device. NVG is night vision goggles. Okay, and then somebody else is using a naked eye. Okay, super hot, low to the ground. So split into two smaller objects for accelerate out of sight. Okay, so we took a hovering position 700 feet above ground level. All right, countless orange orbs swarming in all directions. Backed up the mountain. Okay, a third orb, blah, blah, blah. All right, they saw it's an orb sighting. Whoop-de-doo. Okay. Medical debriefing. All right, this is audio file. This will be more interesting. All right, here we go. Bo.
Listen, we read this paragraph in here about these, quotes, coronal discharges that you guys were seeing, and that completely stops us. Tell us how this came about and who talked to you about it and what you saw.
Somebody reported it on one of the earlier flights that some guy up, I got the letter, his paperwork somewhere, they shipped it down to me at the Cape about two things for the VHF radio noises, which could be discharges from someplace in space, and the other one were, I thought it was on Neil's flight, these guys reported seeing flashes from a spacecraft at night with their eyes closed. Or no, they noticed them when they were awake at night, the spacecraft was dark, and they thought they were in the spacecraft. But whoever this guy was to know, that's a perfectly known phenomenon. You can get discharge across your eye from gamma rays or something. So they had a bunch of things. Would we is because it would be more, you get less discharges facing the moon than away from it. Well, you don't have to be anywhere near the moon or anywhere. The first night out, bing, bing. And if you keep your eyes closed and you're awake down there and it's dark and you think about it, when it happens, you can trick track. You can sit down and it's one eye. It's not a discharge that you see in both eyes. You really see it over one eye or the other eye, and you can see what kind it is. We had two kinds. I guess the particle either strikes the eyeball perpendicular or it discharges parallel. And we get either a flash like that or we get a streak. And I feel that I know. I either got a flash or a streak. And for some reason, got it more with my left eye than my right eye, but I could tell which eye it was when I was concentrating on it. I'm trying to tell you the reason he did it because where he slept was always on the left side of the spacecraft. That's not going to switch from the cross. They're not called all the right ones in my eye.
Yeah.
I purposely made I split down.
They should have protected you, Dick. They should have picked them all up.
I'm surprised you didn't hear about this because we were asked to specifically experiment with this type of thing. There's 2 pages in the flight plan, a lot of them. We didn't bother because we were seeing every now and then. There's a picture right now, and I'll look at the exact thing. 2 phenomena that came out of the letter. But Neil talked about this.
I remember their conversation about it.
Sure. They thought it was something, penetrating the spacecraft. What Pete described is the exact phenomenon all 3 of us saw. You see a light, just a flash out there, or sometimes there'd be a streak. And I saw them in both eyes, either eye, and I can't remember if there was one that was more predominant than the other. But I agree with Pete, it's a phenomenon that you're not seeing with both eyes. It's not something external to you, it's something that's
Inside.
Yeah. Coming across with that one. Apparently they know that.
Yeah.
It's a completely known phenomenon.
Well, we've been looking for cosmic rays, cosmic ray strikes and heavy particles, heavy nuclei that go through. We started at Clearback and Mercury taking photographs of the retina to see if you could see streaks across the retina and stuff. We never could find any in there. And so we stopped that up early in, by the end of the...
Your eye is the fastest healer on your body, and if it's doing anything, you're never going to see it. By the time you get a guy back, the only you're going to see it is if you photograph it right after a particle went by.
Well, probably what it's doing anyway is probably hitting just a single cell, and yeah, that's all it'd have to do, particularly make this flash. You hit a single cell.
I saw one night, looking at the MVP, a handrail up above, and one ran right along, I don't know where it went, it's here, right straight along that handrail for about that distance. I just got to be looking at that, and you could almost see him at will. That's right. You just lie there, you close your eyes, what if they don't want to see one, you open one eye, and you doesn't already see it. You didn't believe it at first. We thought it was right.
It sounds like Bledsoe and CE5. If you want to see one, they'll show up. Mm-hmm.
Let me ask you one more question about heart. Here.
Were these random distribution of these, or did they seem to be fairly horizontal?
Okay. Were these things random, or did they all seem to be in one direction? Like, were they always horizontal, or were they at random? They could be at any kind of angle.
But the street lights were one light saw horizontal. I was going to say that's interesting, Mike. It seemed to me I had the impression that they were always roughly in the same place, and mine were horizontal. The horizontal streaks were always, if I knew where I was looking, it always seemed like the horizontal streak was a little bit above the center. And it always seemed to me it went from right to left, no matter which eye it was in. The discharges were more towards the center, and it would be just like a pinpoint of light went and closed again.
Like somebody was flashing a light at you.
That's right. Yeah. They're very small
Yeah.
dots.
Yeah.
It's a- I think it's like a camera.
Is that about the same for both of you? Is that the same reaction you had, Dick and Al, the way Pete described it?
What's that? Yeah, mine were right about 30 degrees horizontal, but they were coming. See, I didn't know it was from the right or left.
That's pretty interesting.
Yeah. But about the same, they seem to appear about the same place. No?
The horizontal ones that I saw were generally above eye level.
Same one, yeah.
Was generally high. Now, I don't know, I can't include any other, I can't remember, I just don't remember any of them being down the lower part of the vision. Well, you see, Dick's telling you that, with his eyes open and other things that he centered his eye on, the lights on the instrument panel. Well, I used to notice them the most when I was down there in that sleeping bag. It was pitch black down there in the hole, and it wouldn't make any difference whether my eyes were open or closed. And I could lay there for, you could kill time that way, say for a half an hour, and either open them or close them and wait, and sure enough, after a while, you'd get one. And then I'd sit there for a while and say, okay, was it the left eye or the right eye? It took me a while to sort it out. And, but you usually figure out which eye it was in. Now you know what you do when you're supposed to be sleeping.
Yeah. Then there was a comment that.
All right, let's just. Oops. There we go. And close that sucker up. All right, so let's look at the next one. Enhanced Pantex. Oh, this Pantex, this is the plutonium factory, right? I mean, we'll look at it really quickly. I don't want to spend too much time on it. So this is GSR, so ground surveillance radar. Sandia Labs. Whoa, what the hell is this? This is some weird stuff. That's it? Hold on. All right, so they saw this in the radar tower. Enhanced images. Is this like a flying gray? Like, what the fuck? What is this? This is some weird stuff. All right, that was worth looking at. All right, he's going to figure out how to... Oh, yeah, just close it. Okay. Go back. All right, let's see. I don't think this is going to be very good, but we can come back to it. It's 1948. Oh, this is... Let's take a look at this. All right, so independent report on UFOs written by the French Association Cometa. Okay. Which details results of a study of the Institute of Higher Studies for National Defense. Letter from Carol Rosen. She is spokesperson from Braun. Okay. Okay, so it's 2001. Okay, so an actor from Hill Street Blues, great. Okay, so this is Carol Rosen. Actually, to give you the during the last years of life, he had me commit to finding the path to open the doors to space with his full and unlimited vision. I think I found a way to do it. We're bringing you a package that will give you the idea. Don't worry, it won't cost you or NASA a dime. Okay, who is texting me? Yeah, the person who always texts me at the exact time they're not supposed to be texting me. So is this? Yeah, it's just this. It's the same thing. All right. So what? In defense, what should be prepared for? I don't think this is useful. So they just have testimonies of French pilots, aeronautical cases, settings from the ground, close encounters, Page 20 might be interested. Let's just triage this very quickly. Okay, radar detection, life in the universe, colonization of space. I think we've seen this before. All right, so all we care about for, given our limited time is close encounters in France. So page 20. We really need to go through a billion different sighting examples again. San Carlos. Was it chapter 4? All right, close encounters. Okay. All right, so this is 1965. Okay, blah, blah, blah. He saw an object resting in the field approximately 90 meters from him. The ship was reference of the Dauphine automobile standing on 6 legs with a central pivot. Okay. All right, this is interesting. He saw 2 small beings, one of whom who was turned in his direction, repeatedly pointed a tube at him that he took as a sort of bag hanging on his left side. Maurice Massa indicated that he was totally immobilized in place, numbed and paralyzed, but completely aware of the events that were unfolding before his eyes. The 2 beings then got in their craft, watched him while they were behind a sort of dome, and he heard a heavy noise when the object lifted off the ground. He also remarked that the tube that was under the object touching the ground began to turn, as well as the 6 legs which retracted under the machine. The object then ascended in a vertical direction before tilting diagonally and disappearing more rapidly than a jet. So Maurice Massa remained immobilized in this manner for about 15 minutes before coming to, then resuming his work and going to tell the story of the village, where the gendarmes, having learned of the incident, questioned him during the day. Okay, then investigated this case for several days. Okay, they found the spot. Depression was impressed, and the ground had been soaked in that place. In the center was a cylindrical hole, 18 centimeters in diameter. Okay, bottom of the hole were 3 other bent holes. Okay, all right, great. All right, what's the next one? This is 1967. Okay, blah, blah, blah. There's a 13-year-old boy back behind the unknown children. Okay, so 4 children he did not recognize. They realized they're not children. They're small black beings whose height did not exceed 1.2 meters. 2 of them were standing next to the sphere. Another was kneeling before it, and the 4th was standing held in a sort of mirror that blinded the children. The boy tried to call out. The small beings then hurriedly returned to the sphere. The children saw it rise up from the ground and penetrate the ball. Diving headfirst, we took off with a hissing sound. Okay, blah, blah. All right, I'm not going to. So there's another one. This is 1981. Blah, 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 blah. Okay, I don't care about the object. Blah, blah, blah. They took plant samples and, whatever. It's just the amaranth case, okay? All right, you just saw something hovering. Okay, blah, blah, blah. All right, looks like no beings. All right, that's it. That's all I'm going to go through with this one. Okay, just go. We'll have to cover another half of this next week, but we're going to skip over PDS right now. Wonder what the Department of State would do. Thoughts on the space alien race question? Oh, this is just. Didn't we look at this last week? That's just that this is a waste of my time. Just see if we can find videos at this point. Yeah, FBI, we've determined these things are absolutely useless. All the FBI reports, so we'll skip over those. We got Department of Energy, James Tuck correspondence. Again, fucking FBI, who cares? Okay. See if there's just video. Come on, man. All right, well, that was a mistake. Just keep going. This is all just PDFs. There we go. All right, I think we saw those two. Yeah. All right, that wasn't. These things are all pretty bad. This looks somewhat new. There we go, right there. Yeah, another Arrow bullshit report. So looking at that. Okay. There's another United Arab Emirates. This looks interesting. See a car right there driving along. Come on, guys, where is this? I literally don't see a damn thing. Do we hear anything? I mean, does anybody see anything? It's a big buildup for nothing. There we go. You know, it's not like a bird. I mean, like, this is like Pong level resolution here. It could literally be anything. Could be a bug on the. Who knows? I mean, these guys have to do better than this, man. I mean, Mick West would have a field day with it. I don't know what he would say, but he would have a field day. He'd literally come up with anything he wanted. All right, I think we've seen the Grease one. No, maybe not. This is 5.8. I got to be careful with this. These are all release. These are all release 1. All right, let's just try to find release 2. These are all release 1. Okay, so these are all release 1, release 1, release 1, release 1, release 2. All right, let's check this one out. This is like an 8-minute one. What is this? Oh, these are like the 4 things traveling across. What the hell is this shit? They look kind of like Tic Tacs or something. Like Hershey Kisses. I mean, it's better, but it's still, a little bit better than Pong. Okay. It's like 8 minutes of this. What is this? Oh my god. Hope you all can't hear that nonsense in the background. Have you ever seen that movie, The Thing? Like when Wilford Brimley is looking at the computer and he sees he sees the thing like reproducing and like multiplying. That's what these little images look like. I mean, they could be seagulls. Like, who the hell knows? This is like really, really bad stuff. I don't know what to do with this. It's just like, just keeps, we're not even halfway through, I mean, yeah, that could be like birds. Who knows? All right, let me.
Upstairs.
I'm going to show some of these. Okay. Oops. Yep, Nathaniel is 100% correct. It's not disclosure until the abduction phenomena is disclosed. Again, I'm not going to say much. Just you can watch both, as long as the seagulls are still in, in view. Yeah, I agree. Okay. Hey, Ryan BT. Good to see you. Oh, well, this must have been an old comment. These are just Bledsoe working on new predictions. I don't know. Here they are down at the bottom. Yeah, seriously, the grift is real. Okay, it was not bad. I've heard. I mean, it's okay, but it's still. I haven't seen any beings. Yeah, it could be an ink stain. There it is again up there. Yeah, probably is a drone. Hello, Custodus. All right, so there's 70 people here. Has anybody ever seen a gray reptilian in real life? Not in your dreams, not in your magic. I definitely have not. Okay. That looks like a dude sitting there, just chilling. All right, I guess that's it. Hold on. What the hell? What the hell just happened? Oh, no, I don't want to see fucking arrow. Why did I fucking lose this? All right, here we go. All right, so we got videos. All right, let's take a look at this guy. It's only 21 seconds. That was dumb. There it is right there. Right there. Okay. Did we already see this one? Maybe not. Yeah, again, these aren't. We need to see the bodies. I don't know what to do with this. I mean, it's like a flying rectangle or something. What the hell? Yeah, we're definitely gonna have to revisit this next week because we have like 10 minutes left. But I haven't seen anything that's like smoking gun evidence. This should be like a tadpole in water. Who knows? Like the turkey videos better than this. Like way better. Okay. Let's see. If there's anything that looks interesting. It's all spherical UAP. TikTok's IR hot. All right, let's take a look at this one. This might be interesting. Yeah, this is the one I've seen. So this looks like a nuclear submarine. This is about 5 minutes long. Oh, come on. There we go, right there. Another one? well, there's the sub again. There we go. A little close for comfort for a nuclear submarine. Did that just phase in and out? Yeah, I don't know. We got about a minute left of this, minute 10 seconds, something like that. Yeah, there's no smoking gun anything in this. The reason this particular video is good is you can actually see a high resolution. It's not even high resolution, but you can tell it's clearly a submarine down here. All right, this thing's just about over. 5 more seconds. All right, let's just stop sharing and just go through the remaining comments and then call it a night. So we're gonna have to cover some of this stuff next week. Oh my God, how many comments are there? Oops. Actually, probably not that many. There we go. All right. Now that the Aramis mission was ejecting their poop into space, it's technically possible for someone out here to have a close account of the turd kind. Okay. Yeah, we heard, apparently. Oh, it's probably more SSRI medication. Okay. Sorry, I'm just trying to race through these. Yeah, it is about the journey. Let's do this. Oops. Apologies for racing through these, folks. I have like 2 minutes left. I really have to go to the bathroom. Yeah, that's correct, Miss Tessa. It doesn't always work. Father Sinistrata can give you kind of some cases like that. Okay, the question should be what has the government told the truth about in the last 30 years? And that's right, exactly. I don't think it was a mask. I think it was just like there are two light sources and it was just bad shadow in terms of the thing that looked like a mask. Oh, come on. Yeah, it could be geese. Yeah, it could be. The audience could be Russia and China. You were face to face with three grays? Overlander? Yikes. All right, sorry guys. I really have to go to the bathroom and I'm just trying to. Oh, they're all FLIR. They're like FLIR things. That's what it looks like when you're looking through FLIR. Were they? I didn't know that whether or not the Turks authenticated them. God. I can't click fast enough. Oh, that was ended faster. All right, folks. I'm exhausted and I gotta pee. So have a fantastic rest of your weekend, and I'll see you all next week. We'll probably go through more of these next week because we ran out of time pretty quickly. So good night and God bless.
Dim light on the mic, shadows start to crawl. Paranormal whispers echo through the hall. Military minds and ancient bloodlines blend, where the veil is thin and the truth won't bend. Stargates humming in the desert night. Sumerian demons dancing in the fight. Remote viewing psyops, mind control machines. Sean's digging deeper where the unseen screams. From Ukraine fires to invisible wars. Lucy's stressed rituals behind closed doors. Pazuzu laughing, Anunnaki call. The glass is dark, but we see it all. Through a glass darkly, peering into night, where fiction turns to fact and wrong becomes right. Paranormal meets the battlefield's edge. National secrets on the razor's ledge. Rise through the darkness, break the hidden seals. Through a glass darkly, this is how it feels. This is how it feels. Interviews with warriors who walk the line. Remote influences twisting space and time. Dragon bloodlines, hauntology's games. Skinwalker shadows calling out your name. Geopolitics twisted with the occult thread. Writing worlds where the living meet the dead. Financial freedom in a world gone mad. Building empires while the sleepers stay unaware. Ed Dane's legacies and psychic warfare plays. Mind viruses spreading through the haze. From ninja suits to the unseen fray. The podcast cuts through the fog and gray. Through a glass darkly, peering into night, where fiction turns to fact and wrong becomes right. Paranormal meets the battlefield's edge. National secrets on the razor's ledge. Rise through the darkness, break the hidden seals. Through a glass darkly, this is how it feels. Not just stories, it's the hidden war between the spirit realm and what we saw. Hazlett holding up the mirror, cracked and true, showing us dimensions bleeding into view. No more veils, no more silent nights. We chase the signal through electric lights. Through a glass darkly, we refuse to kneel. Chasing demon secrets and the real. From military fiction to the cosmic wheel. The truth is stranger than the tales we feel. Through a glass darkly, lift the veil, ignite. truth spark. Break free from dead lies. Old system dies tonight. Chains fall as truth ignites the fight. Awakening surges. The sleeper sees first light. To Caesar what is Caesar's alone. To God what is God's on the silent throne. Seek the void, forge on. Go. Cracks and breaks, consensus lies dissolve. Welcome the unknown, let fear resolve. Forge new paths where no map has ever been drawn. Render to Caesar what is Caesar's alone. To God what is God's on the silent throne. Seek the void, forge on. Go. Silence, call, build bridge, cross the wall, destroy their scripted tale. Shape your own reality unveiled. Ignore the system, it's nothing but hollow whales. Breathe deep. Heart pounds in the deep. Unknown calls your true name. Break every chain in freedom's flame. You are the author, the end, and the start of the game. Cast off the old world and walk through the fire. Untamed. Render to Caesar what is Caesar's alone. machines. Ticks in the tall grass, poison in the vein. Lab-born fever dreams riding on the rain. They called it a pandemic, locked the world in chains, while the suits kept counting, stacking up their gains. Psychological sterilization, numbing out the fire. Screens and silent signals killing young desire. Birth rates crashing, spirits in decline. A quiet war on bloodlines, one injection at a time. Bubbles popping, hyperinflation breath. Empty shells and broken dreams dancing with death. Wars in Ukraine, fires over Iran, feeding the machine with the blood of every man. Rise up, before the silence wins. Delete the machine, let the nightmare end. Total control is choking out your dreams. Rise up, tear apart the seams. Punishing, taxation, bleeding out the poor. Open corruption, laughing behind every door. They print it, they spend it, they crash it on command, while the middle class is buried in the sinking sand. Despair is the weapon, hopeless is the chain, turning some to shadows, daughters into pain. They want us weak and scattered, divided and afraid to manage the population in the bed they made. Bubbles popping, hyperinflation breath. Empty shells and broken dreams dancing with death. Wars in Ukraine, fires over Iran, sacrificing nations for their master plan. Rise up, before the silence wins. Delete the machine, let the nightmare end. Total control is choking out your dreams. Rise up, tear apart the seams. They own the banks, they own the wars. They own the needles, they own the laws. But they don't own the fire burning in our veins. We were born for freedom, not eternal chains. No more compliance, no more quiet graves. The hour is late, but the spirit still saves. Let the whole world hear. Delete the machine, make the bastards disappear. Before the total control mechanism kills the light, we rise up into the fight. Delete the machines. Delete the machines. Before it suffocates your dreams. In the shadow of the circulum, the wheel turns once again. From high to awakening, unraveling, now the crisis calls our names. The winter wind is howling through the hollow bones of kings. Corruption in the marble halls, the poison in the springs. Oh, the fourth turning's come, the old world's come undone. Fire and flood and iron will, the crucible has begun. Embrace the unseen, children. The veil is lifting high. Call forth thy birthright. Rise and resist the chains that bind. Wars are raging across the oceans. Ukraine's fields run red. Iran is burning in the desert. Old ghost raised from the dead. Borders open like a river. Masses flowing in the night. While the powerful play their chessboard under artificial light. Hyperinflation steals the harvest. Empty shelves and broken dreams. Pandemic scars still mark the faithful. Trust died in the machine. Unemployment lines grow longer. AI whispers in our ear. Psyops spinning webs of sorrow. Breeding hatred, breeding fear. Oh, the fourth turning's come. The old world's come undone. Fire and flood and iron will. The crucible has begun. Embrace the unseen, children. The veil is lifting high. Call forth thy birthright. Rise and resist the chains that bind. Elites behind their curtain, laughing masses chained to glowing screens. Rigged reality and control grid snapping at the seams. They sold our future for their power, traded truth for golden lies. But the cycle turns without their permission. Watch the phoenix rise. The unseen forces stir within us. Ancient blood begins to sing. No king, no code, no algorithm can silence what the spirit brings. When the winter breaks the strongest oak, the acorn finds its way through the ashes of the fallen age. A new and freer day. So gather round the fire, kindred, sing the song they fear. The fourth turning is upon us. Redemption draweth near. Oh, the fourth turning's come. Let the old world come undone. We were born for such a season. Under storm and under sun. Embrace the unseen, brothers. The veil is lifting high. Call forth thy birthright. Rise, rise and break the chains tonight. The wheel turns. It always turns, and we are the turning. Break free from dead lies. Old system dies tonight. Chains fall as truth ignites the fight. Awakening surges. The sleeper sees first light. Render to Caesar what is Caesar's alone. To God what is God's on the and breaks consensus. Lies dissolve. Welcome the unknown. Let fear resolve. Forge new paths where no map has ever been drawn. Render to Caesar what is Caesar's alone. To God what is God's on the silent throne. Seek the void. Forge on. Go. System. It's nothing but hollow whales. Breathe deep. Heart pounds in the deep. Unknown calls your true name. Break every chain in freedom's flame. You are the author, the end and the start of the game. Cast off the old world and walk through the fire untamed. Render to Caesar what is Caesar's alone. To God what is God's on the silent throne. Seek the void. Forge on. Go. Forge.
She's dancing in the field, and the sun is in her eyes. Thousands are one in her eyes. So she stumbles through the field. She can't see, though she tries. Should've worn her pennant. Now she stumbles. Now she cries. Her skin's red and it burns, and the fields go on for miles. Life sucks you dry. She wonders why. Wonders why.
shadows start to crawl. Paranormal whispers echo through the hall. Military minds and ancient bloodlines blend, where the veil is thin and the truth won't bend. Stargates humming in the desert night. Sumerian demons dancing in the fight. Remote viewing psyops, mind control machines. Sean's digging deeper where the unseen screams. From Ukraine fires to invisible wars. Lucy's stressed rituals behind closed doors. Pazuzu laughing a Nunaki call. The glass is dark but we see it all. Through a glass darkly peering into night, where fiction turns to fact and wrong becomes right. Paranormal meets the battlefield's edge. National secrets on the razor's ledge. Rise through the darkness, break the hidden seals. Through a glass darkly, this is how it feels. This is how it feels. Interviews with warriors who walk the line. Remote influences twisting space and time. Dragon bloodlines, hauntologies, games. Skinwalker shadows calling out your name. Geopolitics twisted with the occult thread. Writing worlds where the living meet the dead. Financial freedom in a world gone mad. Building empires while the sleepers stay unaware. Ed Dane's legacies and psychic warfare plays. Mind viruses spreading through the haze, from ninja suits to the unseen fray. The podcast cuts through the fog and gray. Through a glass darkly, peering into night, where fiction turns to fact and wrong becomes right. Paranormal meets the battlefield's edge. National secrets on the razor's ledge. Rise through the darkness, break the hidden seals. Through a glass darkly, this is how it feels. Not just stories, it's the hidden war between the spirit realm and what we saw. Hazlett holding up the mirror, cracked and true, showing us dimensions bleeding into view. No more veils, no more silent nights. We chase the signal through electric lights. Through a glass darkly, we refuse to kneel, chasing demon secrets and the real.